Yes, good afternoon officers. Time for the flash 10-minute CSAT program. So already we have done 12 different topics, concepts and real-time previous year questions from UPSC were solved. Today's topic is a very important and very interesting topic. The topic is probability. So probability for a lot of students is a big problem. So let's make it short and cute and sweet. So before we go with the problem, we have to understand the basics of probability. So quick probability basics. So for probability, one basic question is very important. Everyone has to understand that basics. So if you don't understand the basics, it's very difficult to solve. So basically, let's take a small example. If I throw a dice example is best example. If I throw a dice, what will happen? One of them will come out as the outcome. Okay. So here, throwing a dice becomes the event. So throwing a dice, that is called the experiment under Danny. That is called the experiment. So here, what is experiment? The basic experiment is this. What is experiment? Throwing a dice is the experiment. Ma'am chase experiment enti throwing a dice. Now whenever you are doing probability questions, always remember two things. One will do the experiment, another person will keep writing the results. That is very important. So first person, when he throws a dice, there will be another person who writes the outcomes. So experiment nunchi em ostadi? From the experiment you get outcomes or result. Outcomes or results వస్తాయి. So ఈ experiment, throwing a dice experiment అయినప్పుడు, what are the different results we will get? That is very important. ఏమేమి వస్తాయి? You can get a 1, you can get a 2, you can get a 3, you can get a 4, 5, 6. So any of those outcomes can come as our answers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all the possible outcomes, mother. These are all the possible outcomes. So these are all the possible outcomes. Now if my question asks, what is the probability of getting an even number? If the question says, I threw a dice, what is the probability of getting an even number? Very simple. It's a very simple question, everyone can answer. But here what you have to understand the terms. First, throwing a dice becomes the basic experiment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 becomes all the possible outcomes because I can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ఏదైనా రావచ్చు. దాంట్లో these are all possible or total outcomes. Total outcomes ఇవి. దీంట్లో నాకు కావాల్సిన ఏంటిది? What I want is only even numbers. దాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే want outcomes అని రాస్తాం. What are the want outcomes that we have? They must be even numbers. Want outcome is what? Even numbers. That means outcomes are 2, 4 and 6. Vastene I am happy. So here the want outcome, this is the total outcomes. Experiment చేస్తే 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 రావచ్చు. కానీ నాకు వచ్చే దాంట్లో నాకేం కావాలి? What do I want? Is 2, 4, 6 వస్తేనే I am happy. Therefore, there are two different kinds of outcomes coming from the basic experiment. దీన్నే experiment నే ఏమంటారు? Basic experiment అంటారు. Now here, ఈ basic experiment ని కొన్ని text books లో they are also called as random experiment అంటారు. Random basic experiment. Why do I call it random experiment? Is I don't know the exact outcome. డైస్ వేసాను, ఖచ్చితంగా 1% చెప్పగలుగుతాను? చెప్పలేను. ఖచ్చితంగా 3% చెప్పగలుగుతానా? చెప్పలేను. I know all the possible outcomes, but I don't know the exact outcome. అందుకే it is called random experiment. Random means what? Sudden గా చేయడం. So you don't know what is the outcome, but some outcome will come, but you don't know what is that outcome. Such kind of experiments are called random experiments. సో ద ర్యాండమ్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ చేసినప్పుడు పాసిబుల్ అవుట్కమ్స్ వస్తాయి. ఆ అవుట్కమ్స్ లోంచి నాకు కొన్ని అవుట్కమ్స్ ఐ లైక్, ఐ వాంట్, అందుకే వాంట్ అవుట్కమ్స్. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫండమెంటల్ స్టోరీ ఆఫ్ ఎనీ ప్రాబిలిటీ క్వశ్చన్. నౌ if I have to describe what is this probability, finally, probability of getting an even number and adugute, as simple as this. So before going to want, most important thing is, if possible, basic experiments which are total possible outcomes ki oka manchi peru undi. Dani pere total outcomes from the random experiment is called sample space antaru. Sample space, which is represented usually by S, or you can represent as total, nee istam. Sample space is nothing but after performing the experiment, what are the outcomes, possible outcomes vastunayo based on the experiment, what are all the different outcomes I am getting, that is called the sample space. Okay, so in this case, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 becomes the sample space or sample set ani kuda antaru. Now you have to remember, there is a difference between set and list. Set ane dantlo there are no repetitions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not even a single outcome is repeating. Andike dani sample space or sample set ani kuda antaru. So sample set here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dantlo నాకు కావాల్సింది 1, 2, 3, 4. దీన్నే want outcomes అంటారు. So therefore probability of this experiment, నాకు కావాల్సిన ఫైనల్ గా I want even numbers only. So if 2 false I'm happy, 4 false I'm happy, 6 false I'm happy. So 1, 3, 5 నాకు వద్దు. Therefore my final probability for this particular experiment is, please remember, so probability of my want, probability of my want అంటే సింపుల్ గా total want outcomes ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి, number of want outcomes divided by number of total outcomes or sample space outcomes. So number of probability of my want to occur is nothing but total number of wants which I am happy with divided by total number of possible outcomes or sample space, which is nothing but 3 out of 6, which is nothing but 1 out of 2. So the probability of getting an even number from my experiment is half. So that is the concept of probability. So for any problem of probability, first the student should focus on experiment, basic experiment first. Based on the experiment, decide the sample space. So the process is step 1. Step 1, decide the basic experiment. What is the basic experiment? That is step 1. From this, step 2, create the sample space. Now, after this, from the sample set, step 3, create want set. నాకేం కావాలి, want set. And finally, using all these steps, probability of the want is equal to number of want outcomes divided by number of sample space outcomes. Any question, finally, you need to follow these basic steps. Step 1, decide the basic experiment. అసలు ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ ఏంటి? బేసిక్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ నుంచి పాసిబుల్ అవుట్కమ్స్ ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి, దాన్నే శాంపుల్ సెట్ అంటారు. దాంట్లోంచి ఫ్రమ్ ద శాంపుల్ సెట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు చూస్ వాట్ ఎవర్ వాంట్ సెట్ యూ వాంట్, నాకు కావాల్సినవి. అండ్ ఫైనల్గా ప్రాబిలిటీ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ want outcomes by total outcomes or want outcomes by sample space. As simple as this. A question and answer final ga, this is the whole game. So that is a fundamental concepts of probability. Okay. Deentlo okati gurtu pettukondi, apart from this, two things is sometimes the situations are and situations and or situations. Mutual exclusive chaala unnai, but basically ga simple terms, remember this one also very important. whenever they use the word and అని వాడితే సింపుల్గా మీరు ఏం చేయాలి అంటే మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి. మల్టిప్లై. whenever they use the word or అని కనపడంగానే మీరు సింపుల్గా దీంట్లో ఏం చేయాలంటే యాడ్ చేయాలి. యాడ్. ఈ రెండు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. These are more than sufficient for solving the probabilities of CSAT questions. Okay, so let's move on to the real questions. First, this question was asked in CSAT 2018. Bag contains 15 red balls. So manakunna information prakaranga 15 red balls are there and 20 black balls are there. So each ball is numbered either 1, 2 or 3. So numbering platforms ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి మనకి? Numbering platforms are each ball is numbered 1 or 2 or 3. Any of these numbers are written on this. This is the information available with us. Next, 20% of the red balls are numbered 1 and వాడు ఇచ్చేసాడు. Facts. So facts నుంచి మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే 20%. 20% of red balls అంటే 20% is 20/100. Total red balls are 15, which is nothing but 20% of the red balls are numbered 1. So total 3 red balls are already numbered 1 and manaku tells first. And 40% of them ante 40 funded by of 15, which is 6 red balls are numbered 3. So if you observe in the question manaki final ga what is the question? He wins if the ball is red and number 3. So red ball kavali, number 3 kavali. So our target is red 3 balls ante number 3 red balls or black and numbered 1 and 2. So black 1 or 2. These is our outcomes which we want. So final outcomes must be finally any balls pick up చేస్తున్నాడు. He is pulling finally, if you observe, only picks a ball. ఒకటే బాల్ పికప్ చేస్తున్నాడు గురువు నుంచి. సో తీసిన అవుట్కమ్ either రెడ్ బాల్ విత్ నంబర్ 3 కావాలి లేదా బ్లాక్ బాల్ విచ్ ఇస్ 1 or 2 కావాలి. దట్ ఈస్ అ బేసిక్ థింగ్. సో దీంట్లో మనం చూసుకుంటే ఇది పాసిబిలిటీ. ఇది మన దగ్గర ఉన్న ఆల్రెడీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మన దగ్గర ఉంది. సో మొత్తం రెడ్ బాల్ 3s ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి మొత్తం మన దగ్గర? దీంట్లో 6 ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ సిమిలర్లీ అమాంగ్ ద బ్లాక్ బాల్స్ 45%. బ్లాక్లో చూద్దాం. ఇప్పుడు బ్లాక్లో మొత్తం 20 బాల్స్ ఉన్నాయి మన దగ్గర. దాంట్లో 45% 45/100 of 20, which is 9 balls are numbered 1. 9 black balls numbered 1. Sorry, numbered 2. Sorry, numbered 2. And 30% are numbered 3. So 30/100 of 20, which is nothing but 6 balls. So 6 black balls are numbered 3. Okay. So మొత్తం దీంట్లో 9, 6, 2, 3 అన్నప్పుడు 45%, 30% అంటే 75% is over. That means 25%. 25/100 of 20, which is 5 balls are black number 1. అది మన పరిస్థితి. This is all the piece of information we have. So a boy picks a ball at random. He wins if the ball is red and numbered 3. ఒకటే బాల్ పికప్ చేస్తున్నాడు కాబట్టి వెరీ సింపుల్. టోటల్ how many balls are there? Total 15 and 20. These are the total number of balls I have. So let's write down more clearly. So here we will have total balls. That means red and black, all of them together. We have 15 plus 20, which is 35. So here the question is, the basic experiment ఏంటి దీంట్లో? So basic experiment. If you observe the question, basic experiment is boy picks a ball at random. Random గా కళ్ళు మూసుకుని ఒక బాల్ తీస్తున్నాడు. అంటే my basic experiment is picking one ball from a bag of 35 balls. So my question will be 35C1. Basic experiment is what? Pick a ball at random. So a ball, ante okate ball, one ball. Andike 35C1, which is nothing but 35 ways in which you can pick a ball. 35 ways. 35 ways ante meaning entidi? I can pick red ball numbered 1, 2 or 3. Or I can pick a black ball which is 1, 2 or 3. అట్లాంటివి ఎన్ని పద్ధతిలో పిక్ చేయొచ్చు? 35 different ways లో I can pick up the ball. So 35 different ways. Next, మనకు కావాల్సింది ఏంటి? What do I want? Basic experiment. So this 35 ways will become the sample set. Therefore, denominator లో ఏమున్నారు మనకి ఫైనల్ గా? If you observe, sample set, number of the sample set is 35. Next, మనకు కావాల్సింది రెడ్ బాల్స్ 3 ఉన్న నంబర్స్. ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి మనకి? 6 ఉన్నాయి. So finally our target is what? Finally, if you observe, target is what? We want R3 balls, which is 6, or black 1 or 2. 1 or 2. 1 ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి? 5 ఉన్నాయి. 2 ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి? 9 ఉన్నాయి. So black 1 or 2 will be how much? It can be 5 plus 9. So total here black balls are 14 possibilities are there. So that is a basic thing. Now here if you observe, what are the chances? If you observe here, it is or is given. Whenever or is given, what are we supposed to do? Add, which is plus. So em chestam final ga manaku kavalsina want outcomes enti? What are the want outcomes? Basic experiment, sample set 35. Next, want outcomes. Want outcomes. ఏనున్నాయి? రెడ్ 3 అన్న పడాలి, which is 6 in number, plus or black 1, which is how much? We have black 1, 5 balls. 5 balls plus black 2. Black 2 according to this, 9 balls are there. 9 balls. That means 6 plus 5 plus 9, which is nothing but 20. Therefore, want outcomes are 20, total outcomes are 35. Therefore, the probability. So here we have number of want outcomes 20. Therefore, finally, probability of my want to occur is equal to number of want outcomes divided by number of sample space, which is nothing but 20 by 35. If you simplify this, 5 4s are and 5 7s are. Therefore, probability of my want is nothing but 4 by 7, which is, check if the option is there. Yes, it is there. 4 by 7 will be my final answer, the probability of getting this. So while doing it took a lot of time because I'm explaining, but in the exam directly I will put this calculation. It takes 30 seconds. To calculate this, it takes 30 seconds. To calculate this part, it takes 30 seconds. The whole problem will be done in less than 2 minutes. As simple as this. This concept anedi mere gurtu pettukunte, it will make your work very, very, very easy. As simple as this. So this was a previous year question which is asked in 2018 lo adigina question. See, 1.5 minute, 2 minutes so we can solve if you know the concept very well. Okay? Right. Now another question which was asked in 2016 చూద్దాం ఒకసారి క్విక్ గా. Archery target of diameter 1 meter. So diameter is 1 meter. That means radius will be 0.5 meters. First part. Next, mark with 4 scoring regions. Center outward as red, blue, yellow and white. The radius of the red is okay. Red band enta 0.2 meters radius. Width of all the remaining bands is equal. If an archer throws arrows towards the target, what is the probability that the arrows fall in the red region? So target or want is nothing but red region of the target. Okay, fine. Radius red ఎంత ఇచ్చాడు? 0.2. Okay. Diameter ఎంత ఇచ్చాడు? 0.5. So దీంట్లో మనం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటిది? Basically గా if you look at this, you look at the whole structure. So మొత్తం ఇది దాంట్లో రెడ్, బ్లూ, yellow, వైట్ ఉన్నాయి. సో మనం క్విక్గా ఒక మధ్యలో ఒక సర్కిల్ ఉంది, whose radius is 0.2 meters. 0.2. దాని తర్వాత బ్లూ ఒకటి ఉంది, రెడ్ ఒకటి ఉంది, సారీ రెడ్ ఇస్ అవుట్వర్డ్స్ వాజ్ రెడ్. ఓకే, దాని మీద ఒక బ్లూ ఉంది, దాని మీద ఒక yellow ఉంది, తర్వాత బ్లాక్ ఉంది, సంథింగ్ లైక్ దిస్. ఓకే, సో టార్గెట్ ఇస్ దిస్. ఈ టార్గెట్ మనకు కావాలి. సో ఇది పడాలంటే వాట్ ఇస్ అ ప్రాబిలిటీ అని అడుగుతున్నాడు. ఓకే, మనకు తెలిసిన విషయం ఏంటి ఇక్కడ హైలైట్ పాయింట్, ఈ మొత్తం రేడియస్ ఈజ్ 0.5 and the red part radius is 0.2 meters. So this question is based on areas, as simple as this. Therefore let's solve it clearly. Area of the total enta pi r square formula, pi r square, which is nothing but red radius is 0.2 pi r square. Therefore total is 0.5. ఇది రేడియస్ పెట్టుకుందాము, ఇది స్మాలర్ పెట్టుకుందాం, సో దట్ దేర్ ఇస్ నో కన్ఫ్యూజన్. Red part radius is 1. So first pi r square, which is nothing but pi into 0.5 whole square. Next, area of the red part, which is nothing but pi small r square, which is nothing but pi into 0.2 whole square. Now I want the red region, but available possibility is the whole region. ఎక్కడైనా పడచ్చు బాణం వేసినప్పుడు. So keeping that in mind, what do we require? So final probability. So the probability of my want is nothing but area of the red divided by area of the total, which is nothing but pi into 0.2 whole square divided by pi into 0.5 whole square. Pi cancel అయిపోతుంది. I am left with what basically? I am left with 0.2. 0.2 whole square by 0.5 whole square, which is nothing but 0.4 divided by. So with no confusion, you can also mention this as 0.2 by 0.5. I can write it as 2 by 5 whole square directly. ఎందుకంటే సింగిల్ పాయింట్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఈ రెండు. సో లోపల తీసుకుంటే 0.2 by 0.5 whole square, which is nothing but 4 by 25. So 4 by 25 will be how much? So it is nothing but 400 by 25, which is nothing but 100 into 4 times 4 into 4 16. 16 కాబట్టి your probability is 0.16. That is how you get this answer. So this is another probability question which was asked in 2016. So ఇట్లాంటి questions just based on sample set and sample basic experiment గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. Here the target is only one, which is getting to the red. Possibilities red, white, blue, black అన్నీ ఉన్నాయి, కానీ మనకు కావాల్సింది ఓన్లీ రెడ్ పార్ట్. సో అందుకే డైరెక్ట్ ఏరియాస్ తీసుకొని we can solve this problem. So that's all for today. Shamanth Pydikondala signing off. Bye bye.